Hello and welcome to episode 254, I do believe, of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be SmackDown for week 4 of May 2022, following up on last week's banger of an episode. As the road to Money in the Bank continues, we are going to have qualifier tonight, LA Knight and Kevin Owens finally one-on-one, as well as Raquel taking on Candice. And a SmackDown Women's Championship main event between Bayley and Dakota Kai one-on-one. Bayley said to Cora, don't get involved. I can do it by myself. Without any further ado, let's hop into it. Guess who starts the show though? Not Seth Rollins this week. The Tribal Chief is here. And he comes out to the ring and he's like, Milwaukee, acknowledge me. And Roman's like, well, we've certainly done some acknowledging these past 7 days, haven't we, Paul? And then Heyman takes him back like, yes, we have, my Tribal Chief, and let me explain to you why we have been acknowledging, and that man is the United States Champion, Mr. Braun Breaker. You see, when Braun Breaker first debuted back in NXT, he was often touted as the next big thing here in WWE because he's got the family lineage. Hell, we know all about the family lineage here in WWE, make no mistake about it. But Braun Breaker was something else. He took to this like a duck takes to water, quicker than anything any of your favorites ever took to this. And that's what made him get onto SmackDown, be SmackDown's draft pick back at Survivor Series when they won that tag team match and they said, we'll take this guy. They could have taken anybody in WWE and they took Braun Breaker. And then he went on to capture his first championship in the WWE. He became the United States Champion. Just a month in his first official match as a member of SmackDown, Braun Breaker was the United States Champion. And he still holds that championship to this very day. And now he's earned the right to face Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. Now this is a big opportunity for the young Mr. Braun Breaker to actually prove himself and prove that he's got what it takes to hang in the main events of pay-per-view with a star, the level of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. But it's also a chance for Braun Breaker to become a double champion within less than a year of his arrival here on the WWE roster. And that, Mr. Breaker, is where the pressure gets to you. Now we always say pressure either makes diamonds out of coal, but let's see if you're the biggest, strongest piece of coal you say you are, Braun. You can handle the pressure, you can go toe-to-toe with the Tribal Chief. Not win, mind you, because nobody can beat the Tribal Chief. And then you can turn yourself into that diamond that you so desperately claim to be. And quite frankly, we welcome the challenge at Money in the Bank, but you just got to be wary that it's going to end the same way that every single WWE Championship match has ended for the past 9 months. And that's with the Tribal Chief pinning you with a spear. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker can't handle this, so he comes out and he says, well, you certainly speak a lot of big game there, Paul. You're right, this is a big opportunity for me to prove that I belong in the top of WWE just this short into my arrival. But listen, I'm game to not wait for Money in the Bank if you are. I'm down to fight tonight. I'm down to fight right now. I'll even put my title on the line. And then Roman Reigns takes him back, he's like, look at this kid. This kid, he wins one match last week and he's suddenly getting up in my grill, Paul. Like, listen here, you got your championship, I got mine. You're getting a championship opportunity against my championship at Money in the Bank. I don't want your championship. I've got my own. I don't need to be a double champion. I've been a double champion. This is about you, kid, not about me. It's never about the Tribal Chief. It should always be about the Tribal Chief, but at this point everybody knows that I'm just going to win. So, that's what I do. I show up and win. It says it on the shirt. So as far as that challenge goes, kid, I'll see you at Money in the Bank, and don't think it's because I'm scared of y'all. Nah, I'd have smashed you right now if I could be bothered. But I don't want to, Braun, because I'm nice. I'm giving. I'm a good tribal chief. Like I gave to Jimmy. I gave to Jay. I gave to Jacob. I'm giving to you. I'm giving you the opportunity to get in the ring with the tribal chief in the main event of the pay-per-view. Don't blow it, kid. You never know how many of those you're going to get. And then everyone just sort of walks away. So, this is the story we're obviously going for. This is the young, up on the rise, future top star of the company. This is the current one. They're going to butt heads at Money in the Bank. Yada yada. But Braun does have a belt himself. Which, you know, could factor in, could not. Who knows. 82 rated opening match. LA Knight secures his route to Money in the Bank. He defeats Kevin Owens with the bottom rung in 15:30. They finally have the match, and LA Knight wins. They both get 79s as well. That's pretty cool. Kev, I guess, is sort of in a cooling phase at the minute. He's not really doing much, and that's why his ratings are sort of like slowly dropping. But it's fine. I can heat him back up again at a moment's notice. But for now, LA Knight joins Seth Rollins, he joins Tyler Breeze, he joins Matt Riddle in Money in the Bank. With 4 spots left, we know next week on Raw. Actually, we don't know the qualifier for Raw, do we? No, I don't think we do. But we know next week on SmackDown will be Happy Corbin and Keith Lee. And then the week after that on Raw will be the Fatal 4-Way with Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Rey Mysterio, and Dominic Mysterio. But first, Lince Dorado is watching back his main event from last week with Cynthia Crespo, like trying to analyze where he went wrong. But at the end of the day, like, you did great in like for someone who shouldn't even have been in that match. Then Ricochet walks over like, "Sup, Lindsay? Like, I just wanted to come over and like put you over, kid, because you did great. Like, you didn't look out of place in the ring with those top guys last week, and I applaud the bravery of you to go up there and demand better for yourself and sort of get yourself in that match by not standing for this anymore." And he's like, "Well, I'm free tonight and you're free tonight, so what do we say we go out there and we have a good old cruiserweight exhibition, like, right now or later on tonight?" And Lindsay's like, "Yeah, that sounds lucha lit, my king." So yeah, just gonna set up a random match. Lindsay gonna follow up his big week last week with a match against Ricochet later on tonight. But first, Johnny and Candice are in Gorilla, and he's gassing her up because she's against Raquel up next. And he's like, "You're gonna beat Raquel. I failed against Seth. Like, come up short. I got a tough draw there. It is what it is. But Candice, you got the chance to get in Money in the Bank, and I'll root for you every second of the way. You know I will." And then Ciampa walks in, and they stop talking, and he just sort of nods his head. He's like, "Good luck," and walks off. And then Johnny and Candice look confused, like, "Well, okay then, I guess that happened." 75 rated match. Raquel beats Candice with a big boot in 10:22 to earn her spot in Money in the Bank. So the women's Money in the Bank field also quickly filling out. We've got Charlotte, Nova, Toni Storm, and Raquel. Yeah. So Raquel gets a 70, 72 for Candice, 75 for the match. And yeah, we're now halfway filled both Money in the Bank matches tonight. Here's a segment. Because I announced Seth Rollins earlier on, he was in Money in the Bank. He's not going to wrestle this week, but we're going to do what, like, I'm going to start trying to differentiate Raw and SmackDown a little bit more, like make SmackDown more the sport sort of show, which would include, like, special segments like press conferences and, like, sit-down interviews, like the gloves are off style, like that. And this one's just going to be Pat McAfee sat down, like for the sit-down interview saying with Seth Rollins, our correspondent Pat McAfee. And he just chatting to him about Money in the Bank and, like, his career. So it's like, you know, since WrestleMania, I've been showing out here on SmackDown and putting out the best matches I possibly can, burning it down, reminding the people who Seth freaking Rollins is. But, you know, there's always that something. No one's ever perfect, Pat, you know. There's always that something you've got churning in the back of your head. You're like, what if I can't do this? What if this? What about this? What if I mess this up? But I've got that one little thing churning back in my mind. It's knowing that I can't get back at Roman Reigns. The one man that I want to get back at for everything he's done to me I can't get back at him because of the match I lost back at the Rumble, which sucks. Until Money in the Bank came up, and well, if I win Money in the Bank, I'm a guaranteed shot at the championship, so I could bypass that law. I could win that Money in the Bank briefcase, and I could tell Roman I'm cashing in for that title right then, and there's nothing a damn thing he can do about it. So, as for what's next for Seth Rollins, Pat McAfee, what's next for Seth Rollins is pretty simple. He's going to go to Vegas. He's going to climb that ladder. He doesn't care who else is in the match. He knows there's some incredible talent in the match already. But none of them are Seth freaking Rollins. None of them have had the output that I've had this year. And none of them have the will to win like I have. Because, Pat, this could be my one chance to make amends that wrong that happened back at the Royal Rumble. That I caused. I'm gonna take it. Oh, this got an 86. Okay, fair enough. We're back in the Toxic Lounge. It's the same setting. They're sort of in the ring. They've got a fancy rug or whatever. And like just chilling in the ring. Like, in case you guys missed Heat, JG and JC are going to team on there next week against Io and Kairi. Should be a nice easy win. A nice way to cement that the Toxic era of WWE has arrived here. But that's not what we're here tonight. We've got the Toxic Lounge back out. We're actually going to welcome our guests this week. They're actually going to be welcomed and not rudely interrupt us. Please welcome Sasha Banks and Indy Hartwell. And out comes Sasha and Indy. And Manny's like, girls, welcome to the Toxic Lounge. Hope you enjoy your stay. Here's a drink. And yeah, what's the hip happening with you? Sasha's like, well, ever since I beat that bitch Utami back at Judgment Day. And Manny's like, oh, tell her, yeah, what a bitch she is. She's like, I've always been wondering where I am going, and I tried to get it Money in the Bank. We don't talk about what happened there. And he's like, you lost, didn't you? And Sasha's like, as I said, we don't talk about what happened there. But it's fine because we can take Money in the Bank off. We can sort of regroup and like work out what's next. Because Queen of the Ring is coming up, Queen's Crown, and we all know I famously won the first one last year. Retired an old friend of mine because of it, and that's my crown. And I don't plan on letting anybody else win it. So let this be your first, I guess, my one final royal decree as the reigning queen. The first confirmed entrant into the 2022 Queen's Crown tournament will be old Queen Sasha Banks. And I'm going to go back to back, baby. And then Manny's like, well, it's interesting that you said that you have Money in the Bank off, because that's actually not technically could not be true, because Indy is in a qualifier next week. She's against Shotzi. Sasha's like, what? Nobody told me about this. Then he's like, oh my god, that rules. Like, I'm going to do it for you, Sasha. I'm going to win it. And we're going to have the championship in Boston. You're going to win the title. And I'm going to have the briefcase on lock. And nobody's going to be able to ever cash it on you because I've got it. And Sasha's like, oh, that's a good strat. Yeah, I like that. And then Shotzi's music comes out and she storms to the ring. She enters the Toxic Lounge, which, just looks so strange. Man's like, ew, like, who invited you on here? Like, first of all, get your grubby boots off my rug, okay? Shoes off in the Toxic Lounge, like, we don't want to mess things up here. Second of all, what is this? You don't look, this is the attraction here, Shotzi, you don't fit in the mold. And Shotzi's like, bitch, shut up. Like, I just came out here to let Indy know that next week I'm gonna go balls to the wall and beat her in this qualifying match for Money in the Bank, because I'm gonna do whatever I can to win that Money in the Bank, and you know what I can do in those sort of matches. I'll throw myself all over the ring. Doesn't matter who's there to land on me or not, because I'm pulling that briefcase down and I'm gonna become the SmackDown Women's Champion against whoever that may be, whether it be the Queen's Crown winner, whether it be you, Mandy, or whether it even be Utami or Io or Kairi. And Mandy's like, shush. Okay, we're not talking about those people, okay? Those people are Monday's problem. As for now, you're tonight's problem, Shotzi. And then from behind, you see Io and Kairi sort of slide in, sort of tap Gigi and JC on the shoulder, throw drinks in their face. And then they brawl. And Sasha and Indy sort of get out of the ring because they're like, yeah, fuck this. This isn't worth our time. 80 rated match. I made this high spots, which is the only reason it existed, because I wanted to really test out how Lindsay would do in that sort of match. I probably would have done better if I just left it normal, actually, But But yeah, Ricochet wins. Lindsay comes up just short yet again. 9-4 with the 630. 92 for Ricochet, 67 for Lindsay. And after the match, Ricochet and Lindsay, they have a handshake when they're interrupted by Carmelo and Trick. And he's like, look at that, Trick. Lindsay again. She's getting the bright light to shine here on SmackDown. This really is the land of opportunity. Like, you tell him, Melo. Like, you see, the greatest opportunity came back at Judgment Day when those has-beens, Dolph Ziggler and John Morrison, thought they were going to put us in our place, and we actually put them in their place because we're actually the future and they're the past and nobody cares about them anymore. You tell them, Melo, about it. Well, now I see Ricochet and Lindsay coming out here. This is our show, boys. Get lost. And Ricochet's like, why don't you make me? And I was like, okay, Trick, let's beat him up. But they get into a fight with these two, and the babyface sends Trick and Melo packing. So I guess a soft temporary alliance between Ricochet and Lindsay. I don't know how long it's going to last, but... Sheesh. Sheesh. Right, okay. Take 3. Action. Back at Judgment Day, which was take 1, myself and my number 1 guy, Otis, came up short against the House of Black. But fear not. 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, or last week on SmackDown even, it was Thatcher and Otis. They came up short against the House of Black. But tonight, we think we found the true greatest combination in the Alpha Academy. It's going to be Coach Thatcher and the prime stud student Desmond Troy aligning against whichever two combination of the Goth Hot Topic crew wants to face us. So we're leaving tonight the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. There's nothing you can do or say about it. Thank you. 84 rated tag match is good. I did the Dunne, you know. I said last week that Mark Andrews and Aleister Black did the best because they both got 87. So that is actually going to be the team this week against Thatcher and Desmond. But Black pins Thatcher with a black mass to make defense number 3 of the SmackDown Tag titles. 82 for Mark Andrews, 86 for Aleister, 62 for Desmond Troy, and a 75 for Thatcher. Fun fact is that this is actually, he didn't get pinned, but this is the first time that Desmond has lost a match, full stop, because I was originally going to build him up like the Hook of Alpha Academy. I still kind of am with that vibe. So he was going to be originally the guy that I had go unbeaten, but so he sort of just done nothing for a while, and I'm like, well, rather than just having him be the unbeaten guy, I can find someone else to do that with and actually have him start wrestling, because all he's done is really stand there so far. But he did get 62, so he's coming along quite nicely, but unfortunately Aleister pins Timothy Thatcher with the Black Mass to retain the belts yet again for the House of Black. Quick backstage segment. Toxic Attraction are like got towels and like rubbing the drinks out of their face. God, how dare those people interrupt the Toxic? And first of all, they get it all grubby with their dirty boots and everything, and then they throw drinks in our face, ruining our makeup that we spent hours on. And like, it's like people don't even care about looking good on this show. It's like they just want to come and cause chaos. And don't even get me started on here when Kyrie, like, why are they back here again? Can they not wait till Monday? Like, why is their obsession with us? And then Jake's like, well, I'd be obsessed with us if I wasn't us, because we're just worth obsessing over. And G's like, yeah, well, we're going to teach them a lesson on Monday, so it's fine, Mandy, not to worry about it. And then Utami sort of just walks past and just laughs at the three with drinks in their face.
You throw me up. Wrestling. A man barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. Better than he was before. Better. Stronger. Faster. But what are we to do with all these leftover parts?
Quick backstage segment. Dolph Ziggler and John Morrison watching tapes of Judgment Day and losing to Carmelo and Trick. And Ziggler just pauses it. He turns to Morrison like, what the hell happened, man? Like, we used to be cool. We used to be Trick and Melo. Now we're old. We're basically falling apart at this point. Like, what gives? Morrison's like, well, you're only as old as you say you are now, so how old as you feel? I feel pretty good. We just came up short at Judgment Day, Dolph. We're still rock stars at the end of the day. And I was like, we're not rock stars, John, we're professional wrestlers. And he's like, no, it's a figure of speech, you know, we've got the long hair, the good looks, the whole rock star aesthetic. We could probably start a band and be like, have that as a nice backup. And Dolph's like, well, I can't play any instruments, so that's out. And then Morrison's like, yeah, we'll think of something. So, just a friendly chat between Morrison and Ziggler. Because they were the cool, young, hip, rock star-like guys. And now they're old. But they don't want to be old. They want to relive their youth. 79 rated main event. It's funny this, because Bayley is now the one working against Dakota injured. After Dakota had spent the last year working injured with a knee thing. And yeah, Dakota wins clean again. There's no Cora Jade, as instructed by Bayley last week. But that doesn't stop. Bayley's obviously got her head in other places. And Cora Scorpion kicks her again and wins 1-2-3 to make defense number 2 of the title. 74 for Bayley, 78 for Dakota. And Dakota leaves the belt. Cora comes out to help Bayley up. And she's like, I was watching them from the back. Like, it was such a great match, Bayley. Like, you should be really proud of what you did. I know you're, like, beat up or anything, and you're a bit upset that you didn't win the title. But I'm going to keep supporting you, you know, as a friend. And Bayley sort of looks at her like, when have we been friends? Like, obviously, I don't even... Why are you even here? I don't want you here anymore. You did as I said last week and didn't get involved in tonight. So here's one last instruction for you. Just leave me alone. And Bayley walks to the back as Cora's like, oh no, my friend. 87. Somehow that show turned out good despite a 61 rated closing angle. But yeah. SmackDown's in the books. It's time to pause as we get on to the Cruiserweight World Cup. I believe it's group... Is it C and D or E and F today? I think it's E and F. The second match week of E and F. See you on the other side. It is indeed Group E and F. And Roddy and Reggie, believe it or not, the two winners. Reggie beat Knee Jerk Nice last week, or last time, and Roddy beat Dominic Mysterio. So the two winners of the first round going at it this time, and Roddy picks up the win with the Stronghold in 11:53. He gets a 76. 47 for Reggie. He's actually doing alright in this tourney. There's been like a way to actually show that he's decently competent, which was the plan. Like I was like, oh, this Reggie guy can actually do flips. He's actually cool. But Roddy picks up the dub here. And the other Group E match, Tony Nese beats Dominic Mysterio with a 450 and 921. So while Ray may be one of the favourites to win the whole tournament, Dominic is 0-2. And that's a problem because he's got 0, Roddy's got 6, and Nese and Reggie both have 3, so he's close to elimination but not quite there yet. He has to beat Roderick Strong to get there. Then this is actually quite good considering it's Shanky the Adonis, you know. But anything that the Path of the Dragon touch turns to gold, so it's fine. Humberto beats Shanky with a moonsault in 10:38. 75 for Humberto, 54 for Shanky. This is Group F. I think Shanky beat RKJ last week and Humberto lost to Santos. But this is before he went up Dragon Mountain and became badass. So obviously he wins here. Then the main event is a 64. It's a time limit draw. 20-year-old RKJ, Ricky Knight Jr., goes the distance with Santos Escobar. Much to the shock of many people. And yeah. That is the end of the show, but I'm going to quickly get the tournaments up so we can look at how that affects the standings of Group E and F. So yeah, as I said, Roddy's on 6. No, wait, Roddy's got to face Nice. Never mind. Yeah. So if Roddy can beat Nice and Dominic can beat Reggie, then I guess we get a triple threat, like, playoff match. And Roddy's through, though. Don't know if he's going to come top or not, but he's through. Actually, he is going to come top because he'll lose to... No, wait, because I keep thinking he's got Dominic. Because if he loses to Tony Nese, then Dominic or Reginald doesn't beat Dominic, then Tony Nese will top the group. So, but here it's a bit interesting because we've got RKJ now on 1 point, Escobar on 4, Umberto on 3, and Ashanti on 3 as well. So we'll have to see what happens in that group. Sneak peek for next time is these guys. Ignore Injin Umo. That's Idris Enofe, who I've put in here in place of Scotty Taylor, because I need to re-sign him because his contract was up. So I didn't realise it, so I'll put him in there, and then yeah. But until then, we're actually going to finally move on to June. There were times it felt like it was never going to happen. We finally move on to June next time with Raw. Oh wait, no, I'm ending too early. 67 is what the show got. Anyway, see you then.